I'd try and do one big mural, which I did Arteta here, and then they left it. I thought they would destroy it because I'd done paintings on this tunnel before. They've always gone. Smith Rowe and Saka, and they left that as well. So, and these two women came and they put me in handcuffs. But these ones are from the street. It's from supporters, so it's sort of showing the Tottenham mascot called Danny. And this is why I changed my mind about Kroenkes, because I admire Mikel Arteta. They gave him time. An old man, he's in his 80s. Stan Kroenke gave him time.
Which one will be your wall to paint our next championship? Because we will have, you have to. Estamos en la noche porque vamos a encontrarnos con un personaje bastante conocido y que trabaja a estas horas. ¿De quién se trata? De North Banksy, a quien lo vas a conocer aquí en Arsenal Interactivo. Estamos aquí justo en el túnel donde llega la barra del Arsenal y pues como saben van llegando aquí y llegas directamente al estadio. Sin embargo, en este camino, en este proceso, nos encontramos con unos murales que ustedes seguramente cuando estén aquí, o tal vez ya los han visto por internet, podrán enterarse. Yo estoy precisamente aquí con North Banksy. It's about 10 p.m. Right now. This is the time North Banksy used to work and do this kind of things.
It started like my hobby. Actually, it started like a protest against Arsenal Fan TV, and the first thing I wrote was there on that wall, AFTV out.
There. And in what year that was?
I think it's 2019. It was Emery Times. I think it's just after Xhaka got booed off the pitch, and I was like, okay, this YouTubers are crossed the line from internet to the real world. This is, they want to get this person out, that person out. Fuck them. Get those people out. A friend of mine who used to own a shop called Pinebury Corner, was an Arsenal food shop. He didn't see it was me because I had a mask on, but he stopped his car and he shouted like, when are you going to do Kroenke out? And I was thinking about it, it's like, well, yeah, they go together. Emery had just been sacked. And so I said, yeah, I need to do Kroenke out. So I did, painted it over there near the
you put a
Drayton pub. Yeah.
Okay.
But I did it in the daytime. An old lady saw me and she went to the police straight away and said, oh, I see a man painting a big Kroenke out. Well, I don't know what it is. Stop him. He said he got a letter. And these two women came and they put me in handcuffs. And it was one of them was a trainee policewoman, so they couldn't show in the training, I ignore this silly old lady, we have to arrest this guy doing graffiti. So they arrested me, and someone had filmed it, and everyone was saying, passing by, like, leave him, we all want Kroenke out. They didn't understand what it is, they didn't even know what Arsenal was, they're not really knowledgeable about the city they police. So anyway, I got arrested. They said, well, we'll let you go, but you have to admit it.
Your first step, you have some problems.
Yeah, but I also had studied the law. That's why I had a letter of permission. And it said, if you think you have permission, then you're not illegal. So then it was for them to prove.
Okay.
And they said, what's your job? I said, I'm an investigative journalist in my real job. They said, how can you believe this letter? It's obviously fake. I said, is it? Oh, well, I'm sorry. I didn't realise I was so excited to do something for Arsenal. And I thought it was a social media team was going to come and film me. And so I'm not guilty, so I wouldn't accept. When I came from the police station after a few hours, my friend called me and said, oh, hello, North Banksy. And I was like, what do you mean North Banksy? What's North Banksy? Everyone's calling you North Banksy now online. I was like,
oh, really?
What do you mean everyone? He said, oh, there's a video of you being arrested. I was like, no, shit, fuck. Can you see my face? It's not, well, yeah, but not easily. If you know you'll know, but...
So you never asked for the
name? No,
nickname.
I didn't make it. Someone else made it up for me.
Oh.
So that was cool, and I thought, that's a funny joke. North Banksy.
Cool, it was very cool.
I thought you were. But what would a North Banksy do? It wouldn't be this person out, that person out. Am I different from AFTV? Just anger. A North Banksy would be like positive. It would do something creative.
Yes.
So the first one I can't remember. It was either down there. It was a blogger called Gunaholic, an old man who died, but he was very polite and very inclusive, and one of the first people to write on the internet about Arsenal.
Mm-hmm.
And over there by the pub called Che Guevara, you know the Che?
Yes, I know what it is.
I did David Rocastle doing this, you know, remember who you are, what you are, and who you represent.
With permission, everything with permission.
No, nothing with permission. and I've never done anything with permission, really. But as you see here, I think I have tacit permission now. The council, they've left it. So anyway, those two became very popular. Stencil of Granit Xhaka, I felt that my wife is from Kosovo, she's Albanian.
Okay.
So I thought we were excited when he joined.
You empathize with the history.
With him and want to help him a little bit in a sunny way.
Yes, yes.
So I've done some stencils of him on Tottenham Stadium, and it went viral. And then I got arrested again because the Tottenham people were not too happy with that.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah. And then I've started doing stencils here and there. And I was talking to an artist. I think maybe I could try and make this like my job instead. TV work was drying up a bit. Mm-hmm. He gave me some advice, but one idea we had, let's do one big painting. So I thought I'd do a big Arteta at this tunnel. You know, I did some on the other side on building sites. And I'm talking 2023, 2020, 21, 22, I was doing more like stencils, more straight on stencils and go. And then I did a big one of the defenders on Blackstock Road, which was this kind of scale. I'd try and do one big mural, which I did Arteta here. And then, well, they left it. I thought they would destroy it because I'd done paintings on this tunnel before. They've always gone. But because these were neat and they were, you know, like, looks like pictures, they left it. So I did Smith Rowe and Saka. And they left that as well. So, it's still here after 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I did a Saliba, big, you know, which we'll see in a minute. And they still left it. So online to my followers saw a joke. I said, I suppose I better do the whole team then. Shall we do a democratic vote?
Okay.
And 99% of people said, yeah, I have to do the whole team. So now we've got this tunnel.
But from who is this board, these walls? From the city or from the Emirates Stadium?
No, I think it belongs to the railway company actually. So they could object and get the council to destroy it.
But it will look very bad right now.
Well, the railway company might not care because they don't really, you know, it would look bad on the council because they will be charged to get rid of it. But they obviously like it because there's now, how many? 1, 2, 3, 15, 16, this is number 17 or something?
Maybe they like.
They must, yeah.
They must like. I want to know what's happened in that moment where you decide to change your angry for positive things, because you said you were Kroenke out. Do you have something right now?
Yeah, well, my view is, I mean, I was strongly Kroenke out. On the protests, I was the one on all the newspapers with this mask and flares. They took a photograph of me, it went to every newspaper, you know, and a huge banner. I was thinking it's better to do something positive for the team to show like the streets have you as well, you know, not just, of course, these players. Martinelli, I've seen a picture of him probably 4 times as big as this one. Mm-hmm. But it's an advertisement for Adidas, or it's for Nike, or it's for Emirates Airlines or something. It's commercial done with professional photographers, and the point of it is not to celebrate Martinelli, it's to use Martinelli as a vehicle to sell Adidas shirts or Emirates Airlines flight. But these ones are from the street. It's from supporters, so it's sort of showing the ordinary supporters are caring enough to do something. We're with you guys, you know, not just for the money and not for just distance. Because also they come from there, they drive out and they always get stuck in the traffic here on this street. So the players will see this when they come in for training. Yeah. And I've seen like players have liked them and all of this, you know, retweet them or something. So hopefully one day the players will buy one of these because they've got lots of money. No, maybe not this version, but I've got other ones.
A special one.
Yeah, a special one for them. But it is just, I started as a hobby just to show, yeah, I care about this, you know, and no one else was doing it. And it's been popular.
This right now is a part of the Emirates tour.
Yeah, I think so. I really like that reaction from people, ordinary people, that it's grown into something like, come and see this when you're there. Come and see these pictures, and it makes people happy. It's celebrating the club, but also multiculturalism, and there's some humour here. If you most people might not understand. Why is a man cooking a barbecue? What's that got to do with football?
And they do. They do.
Yeah. But it's Edu, you know, he's cooking. We say Edu's cooking, it means he's doing some deals, you know.
This one is my favorite right now.
The mascot of the Tottenham, he attacked the Tottenham
Yes,
mascot. Called Danny. His family said, I have permission to do it. Now they want him to come
Because
down.
he's a kid.
Yeah, I asked them for permission. Jorginho going, oh my God, what is this?
Yes.
Yeah, there's so that's kind of funny one as well.
And this is your last one. Tell me, because
Okay.
this is not a player, but it's very important for the fans.
This guy was called Denton Connell, and he was nicknamed the Bear. And in the 80s and I think maybe early 90s, he was the leader of Arsenal's ultras or hooligan group.
Okay.
And he did fight, and he was involved in criminal activities at that time. Then he became a bodyguard for the Pet Shop Boys and worked in the music industry. But he died, 17 years ago tomorrow, in a car crash in Moscow. But he was the leader of the Arsenal hooligans at the time when a lot of extreme right wing was trying to get foot soldiers for their movements from football fans, you know. And because he was a black man and he was the leader of it, he kicked out the fascists and the right wingers from around Arsenal. That's one reason why Arsenal has much more multicultural fan base. It's a safe place if you're black or brown skinned. You go in there, you see the whole world is in that stadium, the entire world, and they do it with the flags.
It's maybe something who doesn't live here and don't go to the stadium doesn't realize, but
Yeah, it's very much the world. Yeah, and you don't have that in Chelsea and West Ham. There's a problem with the right wingers. There's a problem with racists. And this guy was really responsible for making sure they could not get a foothold in our club. So I think it's worth. Well, it's a tribute for him, and I know his family now, and they're very nice people, and we'll come here. They'll come here tomorrow as well to see this. They don't know I've done this actually.
Arteta for me inspired me a lot. He's kind of watched the life, the club. And,
he understood what Unai Emery couldn't understand, which is that culture was wrong. There was a rotten culture inside the club, and it needed someone from inside the club to tell the ownership, you've got a bigger problem than you think, you know. One person who works in Arsenal explained it to me very well. He said, like, Kroenke Sports Entertainment, they came in and they bought Arsenal, or they bought most shares of it. They thought they're buying something like the Ritz Hotel, a famous great hotel. Yeah, it is. At the front it looks great, but behind the scenes, old systems, rotten systems, corrupt people who've been there in their job for 20 years. I do it my way. The Kroenkes are, but we thought we were buying something like a modern Hilton. You know exactly how many glasses you are, how many towels, how many toilet rolls, how much food. It's all systematized and organized and modern. So no, Arsenal was old behind there. A lot of vested interests, you know, they're not best at their job, but I've had this job for 30 years. I'm going to do it my way. You know, don't you tell me about Arsenal. I know they needed modernising. So the fans thought Arteta or Emery, they're just going to come in. We're a great thing already. And all we need to build is the luxury rooftop swimming pool. And then we'll be perfect. And Arteta came in and said, you know, guys, forget about your swimming pool. Under the foundations are rotten. You're going to have to spend millions and a lot of money and time. And the fans are not going to see it. They're going to say, where's my change? Where's my fucking process? But he was brave enough to tell the truth to power, and the power listened to him. And this is why I changed my mind about Kroenkes, because I admire Mikel Arteta. They gave him time, not just money, time. An old man, he's in his 80s. Stan Kroenke gave him time.
In these years where the time is, you don't have time.
You don't have time. It has to be instant, like Amazon. I want it, I don't know. If it's not what I want, I send it back and get something else. I want music, I download it now. I don't want to wait for anything. And he gave him time. They understood the meaning, what process is. It's not event. It's a series of them leading to some focused goal, organised goal. But a lot of the fans, of course, they're impatient, you know, like especially younger ones. They're like, oh no, everyone laughing at me on social media and my self-esteem is bound into the goal scoring on Martinelli, you know, young kids, and they just want to get one thing. Arteta understood this is going to take us time to get back where we need to be, and we have to build it from the bottom upwards. Under the sun, Josh Kroenke, he's took an interest in the club.
Yes,
I think he's a supporter of the club. You know, Stan Kroenke was an investor in the club. It was just something, you know, but they have a model that's worked in the United States with the Denver Nuggets and with the LA Rams. And he understood when he was in the documentary. He said, Mikel, ignore the noise. We're with you. Ignore the noise outside.
Was epic.
And
It was epic.
so I have a lot of respect for you now. And I think an intelligent person is someone who, if they see new evidence, they can change their mind. And I saw new evidence, so I changed my mind. Some people don't like that. That's the only painting people have criticised. But anyway, I put Santiago Cazorla in the picture as well. It's a kind of reminder that just because you're rich and powerful doesn't mean that you have love automatically. But this little guy, we all loved him so much, you know.
Yes. Amazing interview, because it's very different for the channel. We used to make another content from Spain, where I am, but right now I'm in London, and I appreciate your time. I appreciate what you're doing.
Thank you.
What do you think about the community, the global community that Arsenal have?
I think it's one of its real strengths. Like Arsenal, I think under Wenger it became big, you know, especially with Africa and other countries where we're buying players in from, and we were successful. But I think the global nature of it, I mean, I don't know, obviously you can see a lot of people there supporting Man City now, younger people, because they see success.
Support.
Well, you know, that's the modern fan. Like my son is 14, he doesn't watch
He
the
loves
whole
Salah.
game again, he just wants to see highlights. It's a different way. So
Yes.
but I think that the global fan base is one of the things that make me comfortable with it. Actually, my ethnic background, Iranian, Polish, German, Jewish, Russian. So I'm in conflict with myself, can imagine. But in this place I found my family, my global family. And so I feel part of something bigger than myself. And so I'm trying to give back to that something with my little way of doing it.
Which one will be your wall to paint our next championship? Because we will have. You have to think about it.
Maybe
Eh?
that one.
It will be epic.
We hope so.
I want to say thank you to Norbansi. Following them on social media. This is a very big one for the community of Arsenal here and for the whole world. Goodbye.